Shout out to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Hello everyone! In this week's video, I'm doing the Six Fanarts challenge. If you don't know what the Six Fanarts challenge is, basically, you all suggest characters for me to draw, and then I draw them in my style. I did this once before. It was a lot of fun, so I'm doing it again. So how I'm doing this is that 4 of the characters were randomly chosen. I picked one myself, and I let my sister Reagan suggest a character because I let her suggest one last time. Anyways, let's see who I'm drawing first. So the first character I'm drawing is Marinette from Miraculous Ladybug. Miraculous Ladybug is a 3D animated cartoon that's been going for quite a few years now. When did it start? I think I was like 20. Man, I didn't realize it's been like 5 years now. I always think of it as a new show, but it's actually getting kind of old. Anyways, Miraculous Ladybug is a really cute cartoon about Marinette, who is a superhero, and she turns into Miraculous Ladybug. And it takes place in Paris, which is kind of neat. My siblings and I are fans of the show. We always have a lot of fun watching it. I was really excited when Marinette was randomly picked because I do always enjoy drawing her. However, I always have a hard time drawing characters from Miraculous Ladybug in my style for some reason. Like, my style always slightly changes when I draw them. I think it's the eye shape. I always feel like when I draw them, I need to give them a similar eye shape to what they have in the cartoon, and it's kind of different from how I usually draw eyes, but I feel like if I draw them differently, it won't quite look like them. So yeah. Marinette is often kind of nervous and clumsy, especially around Adrian, so I draw her with kind of a nervous expression. Because I am drawing 6 characters in this video, I'm going to try to focus on different parts of the coloring process for each of the different characters. That way I don't repeat myself too much and the video won't get too long. So sorry if I skip over some parts of the coloring process. It just means I'll show part of that process when working on a different character. So that's how I'll go about doing this video. If you look closely at Marinette in the cartoon, you can tell she's wearing makeup. So I was trying to add makeup to my character by giving her some pink lips, but it was just looking kind of weird. I need to work on adding lips to open mouths. I can add them to closed mouths, but yeah, it always looks kind of weird when I try to add them to open ones. I do indicate the shape of her lip with some shading, but I don't add any color. It always just looks weird when I try to add color. I've kind of mentioned in recent videos that I don't totally know what my hair shading style is at the moment. I kind of just keep doing what feels okay, but I kind of keep switching it up. Well, I think I found a way that I like and may want to consistently use. So I have my base color, and then I use the thin gouache brush to add a sort of soft highlight layer. I draw a bunch of lines that kind of help define the shape of the hair, and then I lower the opacity and kind of fade it out in some areas. And I really like adding this because I feel like it helps add shape to the hair and lets us kind of see how it's flowing, but it's not like super harsh shadows or super light highlights. It's really subtle. And then after I add those kind of soft highlights, I then go in and add my actual highlights. And once I add those, I'll lower the opacity and kind of fade them out. And for the other hair I shade in this video, I do also add shadows. I didn't add much for shadows for Marinette's hair because it's already pretty dark. So adding just the highlights felt like enough shading. But yeah, I really like this method because it's pretty simple, but it gives a nice look, I think. I continue to use it for a lot of the characters in this video, and I definitely want to play around with it more. So here's my drawing of Marinette. It's been a really long time since I last drew her, so it was fun drawing her again. The next character I'm drawing was my sister's suggestion, and she wanted me to draw Hop from Pokemon Sword and Shield. Hop is one of your rivals in the game. I always really like him as a character, but I would always feel really bad when I'd have to fight him and make him lose. Like, he's so nice and he just wants to become a great fighter like his older brother, but I always have to beat him and kind of crush his dreams. And I feel so bad. I'm over here just trying to catch cute Pokemon as the game kind of forces me to become the champion. Meanwhile, Hop is over here putting his heart and soul into wanting to be the champion, and I can't let him be the champion. Also, me, my sister Reagan, and my brother Joel have been watching the Pokemon anime, and my sister is patiently waiting for Hop to show up. I personally want to see Bede because I think he's kind of funny, and I want to see Ash and Go interact with his rude comments and behavior. It'll probably be kind of funny. Plus, we didn't really get to see Bede in the Twilight Wings, which was kind of sad. But the episode with Hop and Wooloo is super cute. So something I experiment with in this video is defining the planes of the character's face with really subtle shading. So a lot of times I do want to define the different parts of the face with shading, but with manga characters it can look kind of strange if you over define the planes of the face. It kind of depends on the style you draw in. If you have a kind of more realistic manga style, then it works, but if it's like super stylized and you super define the planes of the face, it can kind of look a little weird. I often notice with many different video games and such, they often don't super define the different planes of the face with shading. It'll be really simplified. But I think I found a way to go about shading the different parts of the face. I do add shadows and highlights to the different areas that I want to give form to, like under the eyebrows, the cheeks, the forehead, and so on. I add shading and highlights, but I lower the opacity to make them really, really subtle, like super duper subtle. I think it still kind of gives a feeling of form without it looking really strange. And I feel like I like the way it looks. It's something I want to continue experimenting with. Also, can I just say Hop's hair is kind of strange? When I saw it in the game, I didn't think about it too much, but as I was drawing it, I couldn't make sense of it whatsoever. I especially didn't know how to shade it, so I kind of didn't. I went super stylized and just tried to define the shapes the best I could and make it look sorta hair-like, because the shapes on his head don't really look that much like hair, so I wasn't sure how to go about shading it. So here we have Hop from Pokemon Sword and Shield. Oh, I forgot to mention, I drew him a little older looking than he looks in the game. I think the characters in Sword and Shield are maybe in their mid-teens, so I drew Hop like how I draw my other mid-teen boys. Anyways, let's move on to the next character. This character is Diana from the game Genshin Impact. Genshin Impact is a free-to-play action role-playing game. I have played the game quite a lot on my iPad. However, I don't know anything about Diana. You see, I was playing the game. It's fun and kind of like Breath of the Wild. You can climb around and explore, and there's a big open world. And in the game, you can earn gems by doing different things. You can also buy gems, but I'm kind of cheap, so I didn't buy any. And you can use the gems to unlock characters that you can play as. Well, I was saving up all of my free gems to get Zhongli. I had around 5,000 of them, or maybe a little more. But I still didn't get him, and I was really sad. And I was even more kind of sad and bitter because when I was rolling to get him, I kept getting the same character over and over and over again. So yeah. After that, I was just kind of done with the game. I haven't played the game since. I could have maybe gotten him with my pity rolls, but I would have had to work super hard to get more gems because I still had to roll a whole bunch to get the pity roll. And so yeah, I was just kind of done with the game. I might get back into Genshin Impact when it comes to Switch because I think it would be a lot more fun to play on a system than my iPad. So yeah, anyways, I don't know anything about Diana. I think she was added after Zhongli or in the same update as him. I don't totally remember. So I never learned anything about her. But her design is really, really cute. She seems to be themed around cats. I was actually kind of nervous to draw a character from Genshin Impact because the art and the characters in the game are so pretty and cute and handsome, and they're all just like gorgeous looking. And I don't really feel like I could do them justice, but I try my best. Diana definitely took me the longest to draw because she is very detailed, and because she has this really big hat and is kind of small, we can see a lot more of her outfit compared to the other characters. I had a lot of fun shading the outfit though. For the white parts of the outfit, I used a light pink to add shading to them. By using a light pink, it kind of helps the whites stay within her color scheme. Also, the orange scarf thing was a lot of fun to color. Shading fabric folds is always a lot of fun to me. I always have a lot of fun blending the colors out and defining the form. It's always just kind of fun. Her eyes were kind of interesting to color. She has a big sparkle shape in her eye, so I tried to replicate that kind of shape the best I could. I also added a circle of dark color to help it feel like she kind of has a pupil, because in the art I was looking at, I couldn't see her pupil, but I still kind of wanted to define one a little bit. I then add all of the highlights to make the eye look shiny. Recently, I like to add a super big colored highlight at the bottom of the iris. I kind of like how it looks and I feel like it makes the eye look kind of interesting. Then I add the shading across the top of the eye. And here is my drawing of Diana. She's really cute and it was fun drawing her. The next character I will draw is the one that I chose myself from your suggestions. So let's see who I chose. I saw many people suggesting Hatsune Miku. I thought she sounded fun to draw, so I chose her as my pick. Miku always makes me feel kind of nostalgic because she's one of the first anime characters I knew of, because I would often see fan art of her on the website Disney Create, and that was where I kind of started my art journey. It's where I started getting into manga and anime styled art. The artist I looked up to at the time drew a lot of Vocaloid inspired characters. I remember loving Miku's design when I was younger. I still do really like it, but I really loved it. I loved her outfit and I thought it was super cute. I remember drawing a character kind of inspired by Vocaloids. I was really proud of it at the time. Oh, also, if you don't know what Vocaloid is, it is a program that people can use to make music. It's kind of like a voice synthesizer, I guess. It has a bunch of pre-recorded voice samples and then you can modify them to make music or something like that. There are different versions of the software and each one has different voices. The voices are represented by characters like Miku, Luca, Gumi, and many more. I don't listen to Vocaloid music as much anymore. I kind of go in streaks of listening to it. Some of my favorite songs are Hello, How Are You, Tell Your World, Just Be Friends, and there are more, but I can't remember the names of them. I do still listen to Japanese music pretty often, even though I can't really understand it. I just like how it sounds, I guess. I've been listening to Bump of Chicken and 7 Billion Dots recently. They both have really nice sounds and I like listening to them. Stay With Me is really good. It's been stuck in my head for a few days now. I know I was talking earlier about how I felt like I kind of found my hair shading style and that I really like it. Well, I didn't use it here. For some reason for Miku, I wanted to make the shading simpler and really shiny. So I apply shadows that kind of curve and go across the hair. I erase them a little at the ends to kind of help it fade out and look a little interesting. I then add a highlight on the other side of the shadow. Putting the highlight right by the shadow makes the hair look really shiny. Also, something I've been trying to be good about doing is changing the color of my line art. It's been something I've been trying to do more recently. I kept almost forgetting to change the color though. I would think the picture was done and then I'd look at it and be like, I feel like I forgot to do something. And then I would remember that I didn't change the line art color again. Also, something new I'm trying in this video is adding a gradient of color to the tips of the eyelashes. I take a bit of the character's eye color and then add it to the lashes. I think it kind of gives a cool effect and kind of makes the eyelashes look a little bit more lively. So that is my drawing of Miku. It was a lot of fun getting to draw a character that I really liked when I was young. Now it's time for the next character. This character is Nezuko from the anime Kimetsu no Yaiba. I hope I'm saying that right. I know nothing about this character. I've seen her a lot on like Instagram and Twitter. She's really cute. I like her design. But yeah, I don't know much about her. I have seen pictures of her looking kinda scary or very different from how I'm drawing her. So I'll probably never watch this anime, but I know a lot of people like it and many of you wanted me to draw her. I tend to like chill, cute animes like Kimi ni Todoki, Yumio Patisserie, Kobato, 1 Week Friends. I also like sports animes like Haikyu and Tsurune. Tsurune might be kind of a drama, but it's still kind of in the sports category. Snow White with the Red Hair might be the most action-y anime I've watched. There are some sword fight scenes, but it's still very much a shoujo anime. Nezuko was really fun to draw. It was pretty easy to draw her in my style because she really fits in with it. She has really big eyes like most of my characters. The coloring for her went smoothly and I really like her color palette. I was thinking about putting all of the characters in unique lighting situations to make things kind of interesting, but I thought it might be better to kind of put them all in neutral lighting so they all kind of look cohesive when they're next to each other, if that makes sense. Her hair was a lot of fun to color. I added the areas where I wanted shadows and then started adding the lighter color to help define the shape of the hair a little more. Coloring this picture took me a while because of all of her hair. For the highlights, I decided to make them pink because I thought that would be a fun pop of color and help make the hair really interesting. She has a lot of pink in her design, so that's why I chose pink. Her eyes were kind of different to work on because she has a pink pupil and her eyes don't have much for shading, so I tried to make it so the shading doesn't get too dark. I also added a bit of pink to the tips of her eyelashes. And here's my drawing of Nezuko. I hope all of you that requested her like it. So now it's time for the last character. Last but not least, we have Kenma from the anime Haikyu. I was super excited when Kenma popped up because, like I mentioned earlier, I really like Haikyu. My sister was also excited when she heard Kenma was picked because she was thinking of suggesting Kenma for a character that she wanted me to draw, but she decided to go with Hop instead. So it's kind of like she got to pick two characters. So Kenma is the setter for the volleyball team Nekoma. The team kind of refers to him as the brain of the team because he makes up the plans. He likes to play video games and is kind of aloof, I guess. Kenma has kind of grown to become one of my favorite characters. My sister Reagan really likes him, and that's kind of made me like him even more. I've always really liked Nekoma, but I've started liking them even more in the more recent seasons, just because you get to learn a lot about the characters in those seasons. I've never actually drawn Kenma before. This is my first time drawing him. I tend to draw the members from Kurasuno and Fukurudani because they're kind of my two favorite teams. Nekoma is a very close third. I was kind of nervous to draw and color Kenma's hair because his hair is dyed blonde, but it's grown out, so his natural color is at the top. I think they call him Pudding Head in the manga or something like that. Thankfully, coloring his hair actually went pretty smoothly. I shaded the blonde and brown separately. I kept the brown part kind of simple because I wasn't sure how to go about breaking it up to match the bottom part of his hair. I slightly faded out the brown to make a transition to the blonde a little smoother. And yeah, I feel like it turned out okay. Also, I really liked shading his jacket. That was a lot of fun. I'm happy with how it turned out. Thank you all so much to everyone that suggested characters. There were so many suggestions. I had a lot of fun working on this video. It's nice to draw different characters and experimenting. These videos are a lot of work though. Drawing 6 illustrations in one video takes a lot of time. It took me about 10 hours to draw all of these, but it was a lot of fun and I want to do this again in the future. So here are all of the characters I drew for the 6 Fanarts challenge. We have Miku, Hop, Kenma, Marinette, Nezuko, and Diana. I hope you enjoyed watching me draw these characters. Thank you so much to my patrons for helping support my channel. If you'd like to be included in this list with these wonderful people and get behind the scenes content, consider checking out my Patreon page. Thank you all so much for watching this video. We will end it with a thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. I'll see you all next week. Bye! Thank you so much to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Squarespace gives people a powerful and beautiful online platform from which to create your website. Connect with your audience and generate revenue through gated member-only content. Manage your members, send email notifications, and leverage audience insights all on one easy-to-use platform. You can even display posts from your social profiles on your website and automatically post website content to your preferred social media channels, so your followers can share it too. Go to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/love2drawmanga to save 10% off on your first purchase of a website or domain. I created my website with Squarespace and it was super easy. I highly recommend it. So go check out Squarespace today.